Have you ever talked to someone, and no matter what you say, somehow you always end up being the one who's wrong? You explain, they attack. You stay silent, they get angry. And in the end, you find yourself apologizing for something you didn't even do. That's not communication, that's manipulation. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "No one can hurt you unless you allow them to." And that is the core of dealing with narcissists. It's not about trying to win against them. It's about learning not to play their game. In this video, we'll explore 4 Stoic principles of communication so you can stay calm, dignified, and in control, even when facing those who feed on your reactions. Lesson 1. The power of letting go. No contact. Imagine this. You're standing in a room filled with smoke. It's thick, suffocating. The smell burns your throat. You cough, your eyes sting, your heart starts pounding, and then you realize you don't have to stay there anymore. You reach for the door. You step outside. Light floods in. Fresh air brushes against your skin. You say nothing. You don't look back. You simply close the door. That is no contact. Epictetus once said, "Never argue with a fool. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience." That is the philosophy behind walking away completely. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough not to prove anything anymore. Studies show that people who go no contact often experience powerful transformations. Their mind clears, their sleep improves, their focus returns, because they no longer live in a constant state of alert. But, as Dr. Ramani reminds us, no contact isn't always possible. If that person is your boss, your parent, or the co-parent of your child, then walking away completely may not be an option. Even Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, couldn't go no contact with betrayal in his own court. He couldn't walk away, so he kept his freedom within. That is the essence of Stoicism. If you cannot leave the storm, learn to stand tall within it. So if you can't yet step out of that smoky room, take a deep breath, steady your mind, because there are other strategies ahead, less absolute perhaps, but just as powerful in helping you take back control. Lesson 2. Keep emotional distance. Low, gray, and yellow rock. Not everyone can disappear, but everyone can become hard to reach. All it takes are 3 techniques. 1. Low contact. Speak only when necessary. Imagine you're a soldier guarding a fortress. Outside, the enemy shouts, provokes, throws stones, mocks you. But you know, if you open the gate even once, everything collapses. Low contact means you only open that gate when absolutely necessary. You speak when needed. You respond with facts, not emotions, not explanations, not the desire to be understood. Low contact isn't coldness, it's survival. It's the art of staying in control, especially when you must interact regularly in work or family ties. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you speak, speak only what is necessary. When you are silent, let it be for peace." Peace doesn't come from winning arguments. It comes from knowing when to stop talking. 2. Gray rock. Become emotionally invisible. Manipulators feed on your reactions. They talk to make you angry. They stay silent to make you anxious. They blame you to make you defend yourself. Every time you react, they win. Every time you stay calm, they lose interest. That's the gray rock method, emotional neutrality. You stop being their emotional supply, and eventually they get bored. But don't be fooled, this isn't easy. At first, they'll rage, they'll provoke, they'll call you cold, heartless, unfeeling. Because narcissists are addicted to your reactions. They live off your energy, your anger, your fear, your guilt. When you stop reacting, they feel powerless, and they'll try harder to pull you back in. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "When someone offends you, ask yourself, do they offend you, or do you allow yourself to be offended?" That is grey rock in practice. You don't argue, you don't submit, you don't fight. You simply unplug your emotions and cut off their fuel supply. Still, grey rock isn't for every situation. If the other person holds authority, a boss, a parent, someone influential, your silence might be mistaken for defiance, and that's when you move to something more refined. 3. Yellow rock, polite yet distant. Yellow rock is the brighter version of grey rock. You still keep your distance, but you add courtesy. You say, "Thank you, please, have a good day," not because they deserve it, but because you choose dignity over reaction. Seneca called it virtue in action. He wrote, "The wise do what is right not for others, but for the sake of their own character." You stay civil, but not open, kind, but not vulnerable. This matters most when children are involved, because they learn how to behave by watching you. Yellow rock allows you to keep your integrity without stepping into their emotional battlefield. But remember, even when you say thank you or please, they might still explode. Because what they want isn't politeness, it's submission. You can't control them, but you can always control how you appear before them. A calm, measured, self-contained person, that is what every manipulator fears the most. Lesson 3. Build your inner firewall. Firewalling. In technology, a firewall blocks viruses. In the mind, an emotional firewall blocks human toxicity. This is one of the most powerful Stoic techniques, because it's not just how you speak, it's what you choose to share. Firewalling means you stop offering ammunition to those who would use it against you. You stop talking about your fears. You stop sharing your joys. You stop exposing your weaknesses, because in the hands of a narcissist, everything you say can and will be used against you. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you that disturbs you, but how you interpret it." And that is the essence of firewalling. It's not only blocking their words, it's blocking their power to shape how you see yourself. Think about it. You tell them about a small mistake at work. They use it to shame you. You share a dream. They laugh at it, tear it down. You tell them about a success. They say, "You just got lucky." So you learn the art of strategic silence. Not because you fear them, but because no one deserves access to your inner world. Firewalling is the fortress of the Stoic. You don't attack, you don't react, you stand firm. So if walking away isn't possible, practice firewalling paired with yellow rock. It won't make you win, but it will ensure you never lose yourself. Lesson 4. Master your language. I feel, not you make me feel. There's a phrase that sounds harmless, yet it quietly steals your power every single day. It's this, "You make me feel. You hurt me when you..." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? It feels honest, sincere. But beneath it lies emotional surrender. Because when you say, "You make me feel guilty," you've just handed someone else the remote control to your emotions. You've given them the button that dictates how you react. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our strength lies in our ability to respond consciously to what happens." That is Stoicism in action, the art of separating your emotions from their behavior. Now compare these two sentences. "You make me feel guilty. I feel guilty when I hear that." Simple difference, but everything shifts. Because in the second, the energy stays with you. Epictetus said it best: "No one can make you angry unless you allow it." Your emotions are natural, but your expression of them is a conscious choice. Imagine being a puppet. Every time you say, "You make me," you hand them the strings. But when you say, "I feel," you cut those strings and take back control. Language is the steering wheel of the mind. If you let others hold it, they'll drive you straight into the storm. But if you keep your hands on it, you can sail through chaos and remain calm. So, from this day forward, retrain your language. Let every sentence begin with I. I feel. I notice. I choose how to respond. That is how a Stoic wins, without ever needing to fight. Part 2. Acceptance and liberation. Radical acceptance. Someone once said, "I've tried everything. I just want them to tell me what to do so they won't be angry anymore. I just want peace. I just want them to be happy." And the truth is, there is no way. Narcissists don't want peace. They want power. And that power comes from watching you spiral, anxious, confused, desperate to please. The more you try to make them happy, the more they see you as their puppet. The more you try to get it right, the more they change the rules. Every time you whisper, "Just tell me what to do," you've already knelt before their board and agreed to play their game. Life with a manipulator is like playing in a rigged casino. Once in a while, you win, just enough to keep you hooked. Then you lose, again and again. And every loss makes you think, "Next time, I'll do better." But the truth is, this game never ends, because they don't want you to win. They just want you to keep playing. And when you finally see that moment of clarity is the beginning of inner freedom. Not freedom because you left them, but freedom because you no longer need them to feel at peace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Accept everything as it is and use it as material to strengthen yourself." Radical acceptance isn't surrender. It's not giving up. It's waking up. It's seeing reality exactly as it is. No illusions, no fear. You can't change them, but you can change how you show up in your own life. When you stop arguing, stop defending, stop waiting for them to change, you begin to reclaim your energy. Stoics don't run from pain. They refine the mind through it. They don't complain about others. They study their own reactions. And one day you'll notice something. When the manipulator tries to hurt you again, you'll feel nothing. Not because you've gone numb, but because you finally understand. No one can make you feel small unless you believe you are. That's the moment you're free. Not because you won, but because you stopped playing the game altogether. Conclusion: the Stoic way to end the chaos. You cannot control other people, but you can always control your reaction. You cannot make them change, but you can stop letting them decide how you feel. Stoicism doesn't teach you to be cold. It teaches you to be consciously warm. It doesn't tell you to cut people off. It teaches you to choose carefully who deserves access to your mind. Because peace isn't the absence of people, it's the presence of boundaries. And in the end, remember this: true power is not in making others fear you, but in reaching the point where no one can make you lose your calm. That is the Stoic path. Not to conquer the chaos, but to stand unshaken within it. If this message resonated with you, take a moment, breathe, and reflect. You don't need to change the world today, just master your own mind. And if you're walking this Stoic path with me, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who's fighting their own storm. You can click the thanks button as a way to encourage us to create more valuable videos. Let's build a world, one calm mind at a time. Comment below. I choose calm over chaos. Let that be your Stoic commitment, starting today.